So they pretty much were out here in the middle of nowhere. There's not even farms. I've not even seen farms. There's more open range for cattle, but we'll see what we find.
I first learned of these Western settlements founded by African American homesteaders when I was traveling between Carlsbad and Roswell, New Mexico. I stopped at a historical road marker on the west side of the road. I was surprised when I read there was an all African American settlement that once stood in this area. I stepped out to the wide open land with a telephoto lens, trying to find any glimpse of the remains. I knew I had to know more about the history of this town. Not only did I find the history of this town called Blackdom, but I was pleased to find that there were many across the West, with a concentration of settlements in Oklahoma. But the most exciting thing I learned was that there was one of these settlements in my own backyard.
So for our next adventure, we are going to go out just east of Greeley to a ghost town called Dearfield, and that's spelled D-E-A-R. And
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
And we're gonna go check out what's out there. So this is what's left of Dearfield. We're gonna walk around. They're trying to restore it. It has a historical marker, and they're doing their best to raise money to restore this wonderful historical site that very few people know about here in Colorado.
The book by Booker T. Washington, Up from Slavery, was published in 1901. The book advocated education and land ownership for African Americans. This was Oliver Jackson's inspiration to build a farming community that was large enough to accommodate at least 200 families. In 1910, Jackson filed a claim for 320 acres in Weld County, Colorado, and his dream of Dearfield became a reality. By 1911, 7 families called Dearfield home. By 1915, the community included 44 wooden cabins hosting 27 families with 595 acres under cultivation.
Well, I think that he said that this fireplace, that this is the room that that he passed in or lived his life out in. So, looks like they had a cellar down there.
Looks like the garage.
So this was the blacksmith's
Probably.
building. There's the workbench right there. Weather has just really taken this place. So we believe that this used to be the gas station that was here.
Some of the worst poured concrete I've seen in my life.
So it's all boarded up. Looks like they had electricity at one point.
Anybody home? I need some gas out here, man. Yo, come check the oil too.
So again, you want to stay out of these buildings. They're historical landmarks, and respect the land. You know, the old paint. It's probably lead. What kind of utilities are these?
That's brand new irrigation system right there.
Is it?
Yeah, except those are manual valves, because see all the electrical wires, they're not hooked to a timer. It's probably been abandoned. Yeah, this looks more like a garage to me. Somebody nailed roof tiles to the face of the building. Now this is the original wood right here, Nina. Somebody put roof tiles on it.
Trying to protect it.
Either that or trying to waterproof it from the wind or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, you get very strong winds out here, and
These came out of mobile homes back in the 60s.
oh, here. Oh, look at the old. There's like an old stove. An old bed back in there. You think something chewed through that? What makes you think something chewed?
Like a raccoon or something. Yeah, this was the garage. That's actually a modern day jack somebody left in there.
I saw those bottles that are up there, like canning.
Probably different soda bottles, and then there's probably mason bottle jars there too. Check out the graffiti in there.
The old bed.
And there'd be some hantavirus going on inside that room. No doubt.
That looks like an old Polaroid cartridge. An emptied old Polaroid cartridge. You see it there on the end of the bed, right there?
Yeah, it does. 70s Polaroid film. Somebody shot a picture and left it there.
It's a shame. So they put plexiglass up on a lot of these windows to help protect it from the winters. So it's hard to see in there,
At least you can see it.
but you can see in. You can see all the window panes.
Place. A big house.
This might have been, was this, see, I'm trying to figure out what was the dining hall. I'm glad to see that they're really trying to protect this. It's a part of history.
Careful, there's still ice around here.
Yeah. It's got a newer door on it.
I think they did all this to secure it. The new doors, new locks, plexiglass up, board the windows up, keep people out of them because they're
Yeah.
obviously tagging them.
Just, people, you don't need to go into a place and tag it. It's just pretty immature. This is history. We need to preserve these places. Yeah, it'd be nice if these realtors, I know people are trying to sell their houses down the road, but this is a historical place. Put them over there. Really? It makes it look like the town is for sale. You can see down here is the buildings we were just in. And I'm pretty sure this was Jackson's store further down the road. So the town extended down this far. Let's take a closer look. There was obviously some kind of building here. They have a new door on it to keep the people out. It's in pretty good condition. There's a briar over there. It's weird. Beds in there. You can see the box springs, chimney. So they're warning of henta and snakes out here. So we're here in the winter, so we really don't have any snakes. And the other is from mouse poopy. So you need to stay out of these buildings. Really important. These are historical landmarks, so please respect that. So basically when they first moved out here, they didn't have any structures built. They were living in ditches and dug ditches, and they would put like tents over them. It was cold. It was a hard first winter. They had like blizzards they had to live through. The Platte River is just like maybe 5 miles to the north of here, and they would have to go up there and get their water. They had no water. All the farms around them already had scooped up all the water rights, so they had no water rights. And then the Depression hit, and the Dust Bowl hit this area really, really hard, and it never recovered. And by the time it got into the 40s, there was one resident left. I think it's really sad when you go to these communities and they're ghost towns, and they didn't make it because they were homesteading like the worst land there was with no water rights. It's like when we went to, what was that town called, Blackdon in outside of Roswell. It was the same thing. There were no structures there. But Nicodemus, east of here in Kansas, is still around. Very interesting. Ghost town of Dearfield, right off of Highway 34.
Make sure to catch all our videos on the beautiful Rocky Mountain state of Colorado. Make sure to check out the links in the description. They help support this channel. And thank you so much for coming by. You have no idea how much we appreciate it.